Here is a case of bilateral renal stone disease with HPSAG positive. Usually, endourological procedures, HPSAG and HIV are commonly seen nowadays. This patient is 44-year female patient, HPSAG positive, bilateral stones, not very big, approximately 1.2 centimeters and 1.2 centimeters. This is the X-ray KUB showing this is the CT scan. Usually, after getting clearance from the physician regarding the viral load, we can take up safely. The main concern is the flexible scope and accessories. We try to use all the accessories on a disposable basis, but flexible scope, because it is costly, we keep separately one flexible scope for only HPSAG patients. And this is the stone, ureter is accommodable. So in this case, the point of discussion is whenever two medium-sized stones are there, we can do simultaneously so that it will be cost effective and disposables also will not be costly. That is what we are showing. And second point we are showing in this case is thulium fiber laser. We were thinking that the powdering effect is less when compared to holmium, but with a new setting here shown, fragmentation mode, 1 joule and 10 Hz, which is a normal holmium setting. When we used for thulium, it was powdering very well, almost like holmium. So in thulium fiber laser, versatility of so much settings one need to understand, and all these settings are variables are so many that each setting has to be tried for the specific condition of the patient. In this case, we have kept a P7 scope exclusively for HPSAG patients, as the incidence is also common, so that the same scope will be used only for HPSAG patients, whereas access sheath, guide wires and all will be removed and disposed. In such cases, bilateral RIRS is very useful and very cost effective to the patient. Here we try to be, whenever we are doing bilateral, we try to do powder from beginning to the end as much as possible. Otherwise, popcorn is also okay if it is kept in the lumen. See, now we are going to popcorn at the end. At the end, usually we need popcorn anyway. This is 0.025 joules, 0.025 joules and 2200 Hz. This is a highly variable setting, 225 Hz and 0.2 joules. So these variations are there. With trial and error combinations, we will see that the popcorn finishes very fast. So the time is also important whenever we are doing bilateral RIRS. Usually it should take less than 30 minutes on one side. In this case, this stone on the right side took 13 minutes of lasing time. Anesthesia time will be little extra, but lasing time and intrarenal time we have to calculate. Now coming to the left side, after stenting on the right side, left side ureter is also accommodable. Usually if one side is accommodable, most of the times opposite side also will be accommodable. This type of elastic distension of the ureter is a very good sign for RIRS, and water also comes freely from the access sheath. In such cases, chances of sepsis will be less. And urine culture should be mandatory in such cases. Even in HIV patients, we keep a separate scope. After getting the viral load decreased by the physician expert in treating the HIV patients, then we take up the case, and the scope will not be used for any other patients. Here we are relocating with the Dakota basket to 1.9 French up to the upper calyx. We are keeping dusting again 0.1 joules and 100 Hz now. This is 0.1 joule and 100 Hz. So in different combinations, the dusting and fragmentation and popcorn are available with the thulium fiber laser. This dusting is little slow when compared to the opposite dusting. See the respiration, how it affects in the upper calyx, and once we say to the anesthetist, the tidal volume as well as the respiratory rate can be decreased so that we can fix. Another point in this case is a long fornicial angles. Whenever the papilla is projected too much, these fragments go in the groove of the papilla in the fornices. Then it is very difficult without touching like this doing popcorn as well as powder. In such cases, patients and slowly touching the fiber with less energy, see 0.20 and 275 Hz, will avoid burning effect on the papilla, and then these fragments should be repeatedly, they will be moving from one calyx to other calyx, especially in the upper calyx, which is compound, and clearly powder them till they are very small fragments. Otherwise, when we are doing bilaterally, we should not take chance of Steinstrasse or obstruction in the periureteric region. Otherwise, both the sides we have to explore. It is very difficult to identify these fragments in CT also, but they avoid stent drainage leading to fever or pain. So with these tips and tricks, we could finish an HBsAg positive bilateral RIRS safely, and then patient did well. One more important point is, when we do bilateral RIRS, the chances of complications going back to the theater should not be there, so that again cost will increase if you go for any removal of the Steinstrasse or any stone impacted in the ureter. So careful powdering and removing also with the basket sometimes is essential. Thank you.